Okay, so you've made it through the first two workouts here in level 1. Excellent job. What we're coming up against here is the final workout, number 3. And what we're going to do is take that same 4-finger position we've been working on throughout the first two workouts, and we're going to apply it to the first position, but we're going to do it off of open strings. So there's a little bit of an added challenge where we have to keep those open strings quiet when we make the switch from string to string. That's very important because there's going to be lots of times you're going to play legato techniques off of open strings or onto open strings, depending on what it is that you're doing. So let's go right here to the first position and check out what's going on. So you're going to start off on the high E string, and you're going to play an ascending pattern in the first position with this chromatic fingering, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to play hammer-ons to the open high E string like this. The clarity of your hammer-ons and the accuracy of how you apply the finger to the fret is very important here. It's probably going to be even more so important than when you were playing off a fretted anchor, now that you have the open string. Because really what's happening is all 4 of your fingers are kind of flying in the wind. So when you come down the string like that, they all have a slightly different feel than they did before because that first finger is not anchoring itself like it did before. So you'll feel a little bit of a different motion. But you got to keep it accurate and got to keep it strong and looking for those dynamics to be even. Now what's going to happen is we're going to stay in the first position. We're going to play down the 6 strings, but we're going to do the zigzag motion when it comes to the direction of the pitch. So on the high E string, I just ascended the pitch. Now coming down to the B string, I'm going to descend the pitch by starting with the 4th finger on the 4th fret and hammering on to the open B string down to the first finger, and going right in a row, right in a chromatic direction, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we went up on the high E string and down on the B string. We're going to do that again for the next 2 pairs. G string is going to go up, D string is going to go down, A string is going to go up, and then the low E string, the 6th string, is going to go down. They're going to be all hammer-ons, so we're going to play with downstrokes. Once you complete your final descent on the low E string, you're going to flip up to the high E string once more, and you're going to descend again, except this time, you're going to play pull-offs. And you'll continue that zigzag motion, but now it's in reverse. So instead of string pairs being up, down, now they are down, up. Now once again, your pull-off technique, just like your hammer-on technique changed a bit, your pull-off technique is going to feel a little different because the first finger is not anchored. So you're going to have to make a slight feel adjustment in order to get your pull-offs to sound and come off the same way as they were when you had a first finger anchor or just a fingered anchor, period, as opposed to playing off of open strings. Look for those dynamics to be even, pull towards the floor, and make sure it's it's a strong pull-off. But here's the crucial part. When you're doing that, try not to do this. Let's say I'm on the 2nd string and I pull off the 4th finger. We do not want the lower adjacent string, or the higher adjacent string, I should say, to ring. We don't want to activate it by accident. So while you have to have a strong pull-off technique, it has to be a careful and a clean one. One way to do that is to learn how to start getting the strength from this upper knuckle right there. You're still pulling towards the floor, but it's not this big motion that you might be doing. You're trying to lessen the motion. The more you lessen the motion with both hammer-ons and pull-offs, the faster that your technique is going to become fluid, free-flowing, and great sounding. So it's all about the zigzag motion in this final workout. Up and down, or down and up. Up and down for the hammer-ons, down and up for the pull-offs. Make sure your pick attacks are the way I suggested them to be. Downstrokes for hammer-ons, upstrokes for pull-offs. Make sure the dynamics are even between the pick attacks and whatever legato technique it is you're playing with these single instance approaches, and it's going to start to sound great. This first level is going to get us a really, really strong foundation for your hammer-ons and pull-offs that's going to flow right into level 2 and right into level 3. And once we get done with this course, you're going to have an absolutely awesome sounding legato technique that's ready for anything. You're going to be able to play all kinds of different patterns and be able to approach all the stuff that it is that you want to play so you can get those killer sounds that you're looking for. Okay, so let's get into workout number 3. We're going to start at 40 beats per minute. We're going to go through the 3 target tempos, where we jump to 70 beats per minute and 100 beats per minute. And we're going to do this for 2 minutes apiece. That's what we're doing our drills for. So I'll see you over at 40 beats per minute, ready to go.